Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Daily News Editorial. In this channel, we regularly cover editorial page section of different newspaper. In today's video, I will be covering the lead article of the Hindu newspaper editorial page dated 4th of July. That's today, so let's begin. Poverty in India is on the rise again. In the absence of ECS data, the periodic labor force survey shows a rise in the absolute number of the poor. So this is about the data relative and absolute poverty rose after. So just let's look at the table and try to understand. So in the table we can see that this number of poor, okay, this in the rural, so we have more poor people in the rural area than urban area. So in the year 2004 and 5 we had 325 million people, which decreased to 216 people in 11 and 12. But in 2019 and 20 this increased to 270. Similarly, for urban area, in 2004-5 we had 81.4 million people in poverty, which decreased to 53.1 million. Now again it increased to 71 million in 1920. And below is the poverty line income, so which means that below what income a family, a person will be called poor, right? So let's begin. India has not released the consumption expenditure survey data since 2011 and 12. Normally a CES is conducted. CES is Consumption Expenditure Survey. Normally a CES is conducted by the National Sample Survey Office, NSO, every 5 years. But the ECS of 1718, already conducted a year later, was not made public by the Government of India. Now we hear that new CES is likely to be conducted in 2021-22, the data from which will probably not be available before end 2020. Meanwhile, we know that the economy has been slowing for 9 quarters prior to the outbreak of the novel coronavirus pandemic. Unemployment had reached a 45-year high in 2017-18, as revealed by NSO's Periodic Labor Force Survey, PLFS, sufficient to estimate change. India's labor force surveys, including the 5 yearly unemployment rounds from 2073-4 to 2021 to 2011-12, have also collected consumption expenditure of households. The PLFS has maintained that tradition. While the PLFS questions on consumption expenditure are not as detailed as those of the CES, they are sufficient for us to estimate changes in consumption on a consistent basis across time. It enables any careful researcher to estimate the incidence of poverty, that is, the share in the total population of those below the poverty line, as well as the total number of persons below poverty. This is exactly what we do in the table. There is a clear trajectory of the incidence of poverty falling from 1973 to 2012. In fact, since India began collecting data on poverty, the incidence of poverty has always fallen consistently. It was 54.9% in 1973-74, 44.5% in 83-84, 36% in 93-94, and 27.5% in 2004 and 5. This was in accordance with the Lakdawala poverty line, which was lower than the Tendulkar poverty line, named after a distinguished economist, than a member of the Planning Commission. Methodology. In 2011, it was decided in the Planning Commission that the national poverty line will be raised in accordance with the recommendations of an expert group chaired by the late Suresh Tendulkar, the professor of economics at the Delhi School of Economics. That is the poverty line we use in estimating poverty in the table. As it happens, this poverty line was comparable at the time to the international poverty line estimated by the World Bank of $1.09, now raised to $1.9 to account for inflation person per day. Based on the Tendulkar poverty line, the poverty estimates for 2004-5 and 2011-12 are to be found in the Planning Commission's own estimate using the CES of those years. However, we have extended the 2011-12 poverty line for each state and used the consumption expenditure reported by the PLFS to estimate a consistent poverty headcount ratio, that is incidence of poverty in the population as well as the absolute number of the poor. We feel confident about using the PLFS because in the absence of CES data, the PLFS can be used to estimate the incidence of poverty. It also collects the household monthly per capita consumption expenditure data based on the mixed recall period methodology. Similar to CES, the PLFS annual report 2019-20 page 6 also asks the household questions about expense on health, clothing and bedding, education, footwear and consumer durables for a 365-day recall period prior to the day of the survey, but for non-durable consumption goods services including expense on food, housing and conveyance etc. Its question expects a recall period of 30 days prior to the day of survey. We naturally updated the Tendulkar poverty line using the consumer price index for each state in 2019-20 to arrive at the estimate for the last year before COVID-19. An urban and rural rise. What is stunning is that for the first time in India's history of estimating poverty, there is a rise in the incidence of poverty since 2011-12. The important point is that this is consistent with the NSO's CSE data for 2017-18 that was leaked data. The leaked data showed that rural consumption between 2012 and 2018 has fallen by 8%, while urban consumption has risen by barely 2%. Since the majority of India's population, certainly over 65%, is rural, poverty in India is also predominantly rural. Remarkably, by 2019-20, poverty had increased significantly in both the rural and urban areas, but much more so in rural areas, from 25% to 30%. It is also for the first time since the estimation of poverty began in India on a consistent basis that the absolute number of poor has risen from 217 million in 2020 to 270 million, from 217 million in 2012 to 270 million in 2019-20 in rural areas, and from 53 million to 71 million in the urban areas, or a total increase of the absolute poor of about 70 million. This is important here to recall. It is important here to recall two facts. Between 1973 and 1993, the absolute number of poor had remained constant at about 320 million poor, despite a significant increase in India's total population. Between 1993 and 2004, the absolute number of poor fell by a marginal number, 18 million, from 320 million to 302 million, during a period when the GDP growth rate had picked up after the economic reforms. It is for the first time in India's history since CES began that we have seen an increase in the absolute number of the poor between 2012-13 and 2019-20. The second fact is that for the first time ever between 2004-5 and 2011-12, the number of poor fell, and that too by a staggering 133 million, or by over 19 million per year. This was accounted for by what has come to be called as India's dream run of growth. Over 2004 and 2014, the growth rate had averaged 8% per annum, a 10-year run that was not sustained thereafter. By contrast, not only has the incidence of poverty increased since then, but the absolute increase in poverty is totally unprecedented. The contributory factors. The reason for increased poverty since 2013 are not far to seek. While the economy maintained some growth momentum till 2015, the monumental blunder of demonetization, followed by a poorly planned and hurriedly introduced goods and services tax, both delivered bloody blows to the unorganized sector and micro, small, and medium enterprises. The economic slowdown followed. None of the four engines of growth was firing after that. Private investment fell from 31% inherited by the government to 28% of GDP by 2019-20. Public expenditure was constrained by a silent fiscal crisis. Exports, which had never fallen in absolute dollar terms for a quarter century since 1991, actually fell below the 2013-14 level, $315 billion, for 5 years. Consumption stagnated and household savings rates fell. Joblessness increased to a 45-year high by 2017-18, and youth 15 to 29 years of age saw unemployment triple from 6% to 18% between 2012 and 2018. Real wages did not increase for casual or regular workers over the same period. Hardly surprising when job seekers were increasing, but jobs were not at anywhere close to that rate. Hence, consumption expenditure fell and poverty increased. Poverty is expected to rise further during the COVID-19 pandemic after the economy has contracted. Santosh Mehrotra has recently edited Reviving Jobs, an Agenda for Growth 2020. Jajati Kesari Parida is Assistant Professor of Economics at the Central University of Punjab, Bhatinda. That's the end of the article. If you like my video, please subscribe, like and comment. Thank you.